have to lean into God's strength. You really have to lean into God's strength, because he's the only one that is going to carry you. He's literally going to be carrying you the rest of the way, and you have to be okay with him carrying you the rest of the way. You know the story, the poem of the footprints in the sand, and you know how, it states that, when you look back, you only seen one set of footprints, and when Jesus replied, it was because I was carrying you. That's where we are right now. You're weak, you're tired, you're not even overwhelmed, but you're just exhausted. The journey and the walk is exhausting, but even in that, your faith is strong, and you're not losing hope, you're not giving up, and Jesus knows that. He senses it, and he sees you and he feels you, to where he knows that now I have to go in and I have to pick you up. And even though that we're walking on this road, it's up to me to carry you. And Jesus is carrying you, and he's holding you, and he's nurturing you, and he's loving on you, and he's making sure that his arms are wrapped around you, because he wants you to know and understand that he has you and that everything is going to be okay. He knows that you're tired, and he knows that you understood, not to get weary in well doing. He knows that you understood to take the yoke take his yoke upon you. He knows that you understood, not to allow anxiety to bother you and to be anxious for nothing. He knows that you understood that. But he knows that the fight is tough. He knows that the fight is tough. He knows that the walk is tough. But you're holding on to him. And he sees that. He knows that it's almost like, you're being in 3 overtimes in a basketball game, and it's up to you to take the last shot, but you have no legs. You have no legs. All the energy and your muscles are just weak to the point to where you can't even jump to get your form correct. He knows that it feels like, you've just ran a 50-mile marathon, and you're on the last mile, and you can see the finish line, but at the same time, your legs are just gone. You're breathing heavy, and you're just exhausted. God sees that. He sees that. He knows that it's like you being in your 12th round of a boxing match, and the opponent that you were facing, he wasn't as easy as you thought. Although you prepared for it, although you were ready for it, it took a lot out of you. And so you're trying everything that you can to win, but you're tired.